Artificial intelligence is revolutionizing the financial sector, providing banks, credit unions, and trusts with innovative tools to streamline operations and elevate client experiences. By automating routine tasks and uncovering deeper insights, AI is becoming integral to modern banking. This technological shift presents institutions with opportunities to enhance efficiency and accuracy while preserving the personal touch that characterizes their client relationships. As they embrace AI, financial institutions can better serve their clients, offering more personalized and responsive services. The challenge lies in balancing technological advancements with the human element, ensuring that the essence of trust and personal connection remains intact. This harmonious integration of AI and human expertise is set to define the future of banking.
I think what comes to mind is the underwriting of loans. We're seeing a lot of AI doing a lot of the work that people used to do manually, reviewing the borrower's financial statements, their underlying collateral, the strength of their credit. And it's amazing how a lot of that information can be fed into an artificial intelligent agent to really do that analysis, that official kind of initial scrub of the actual data, to then come out with the criteria when it comes to underwriting.
So I come from what I think of as like the traditional trust space. And, when I think about the wealth management industry kind of broadly, trust tends to be like a little bit slower to adopt newer technologies. Most people in the trust space are fiduciaries, meaning they're held to a pretty high standard in terms of having to act in the best interest of their clients, and also heavily regulated. So regulated by the OCC, regulated by state examiners, regulated by internal controls.
We're seeing quite a bit of activity across these types of players. So first of all, personalization of engagement at scale. And we really mean, hyper personalization. That's that kind of buzzword with micro-segmentation, like just a lot more detailed and thoughtful, design around the experiences of analyzing client data, tailored recommendations, proactive communication, and quite a bit of orchestration around, micro segments to seamlessly, think about every channel, every interaction, and foster deeper relationships, but also likely have some that are autonomous, because over time, with some of the agentic elements emerging, clients will be able to, by further segment, also interact with agents before they need to go to a human and get much deeper sort of loyalty and information from that level of engagement.
Well, we do have situations where we were able to automate the generation of loan notices for one of our banking clients. And that greatly reduced the amount of time to generate the notices, review the notices, and to send the notices out. So by using our RPA, or robotic process automation, we were able to take a process that probably took about 4 hours per document down to about 4 minutes. And I think that was something that both ourselves and the client benefited greatly from, through the increased efficiency and the better controls around the process, with a lot less errors and the speed to market with the actual documents getting out to the borrowers. And this was a client with about 5,000 loans. So this was a high volume client and significantly saved a lot of time and improved the controls.
Banks and trusts manage enormous volumes of data daily, often hindered by repetitive tasks and manual processes. AI provides a transformative solution by automating these workflows, significantly reducing errors and freeing up staff to concentrate on higher value tasks. From document processing to compliance checks, intelligent systems are revolutionizing back-office operations, enhancing speed and reliability. By leveraging AI, financial institutions can streamline operations, improve accuracy, and allocate resources more efficiently. This shift not only boosts productivity, but also allows employees to focus on strategic initiatives, ultimately driving innovation and growth within the industry. The integration of AI in banking and trust services is paving the way for a more efficient, reliable, and forward-thinking financial sector.
I would say the ability to digitize documents. So the loan market is a very heavy document market. There's not a lot of standardization in the loan documentation space. So every loan comes with a multitude of documents. It could be a loan agreement, it could be a collateral agreement, it could be a title, it could be an appraisal. So all these exist in paper form. Many of them are PDFs. And in order to survey that loan and ensure the performance of that loan, that information needs to be collected monthly or quarterly or annually.
And so where we're starting to leverage these tools is, less of how I think of traditional AI and more like advanced automation, right? There's millions of ways that these banks and trust companies are doing duplicate efforts, right? They're inputting something in one place and then they're inputting it in another place, and one system doesn't talk to another system in the ways that it should. So I think that that's where we're starting to see it, right? It's less on the, help me make my trades or help me decide what is right for this client, and more on making sure technologies are talking to each other in the ways that they always should have been.
The architecture matters. Many places built these one-offs, but then actually had to think about how they actually create these layers and think about their data more in an integrative fashion across the enterprise to be able to then scale it. And often it required rebuilds for many of the players. So expanding these systems to the entire enterprise and thinking about, data more holistically is an important part of this scalable architecture.
So if you are required to have to read documents, and many folks in the banking world are still reading documents, that can all be automated through a combination of our optical character recognition software that can take any document, whether it's a PDF or it's Word or Excel, any format. It can take the data that's required to do your job, to do the analysis, to be able to complete a task, can be scraped off those documents and then processed in a way that there's no real human intervention. The human intervention comes with oversight. So instead of having a person have to read and type, now they're just going to look at exceptions, and they're going to only address exceptions. And the machine is going to do 98% of the work.
They can't be doing a lot of manual dual entry. So I think that that's really where these technologies are going to come into play to help them. Our own operations team has been leveraging Blue Prism tools to, reduce having to enter in information in multiple places. There's also what I think of as like industry level challenges around opening new accounts and, all of the KYC requirements that I think AI has started to, and AI and automation have started to, help chip away at some of the challenges around that, and that I think we're going to see even more of.
AI is redefining how financial institutions connect with clients, enabling hyper-personalized experiences that build trust and loyalty. By analyzing data patterns, AI anticipates client needs, streamlines onboarding, and enhances engagement, all while preserving the human relationships central to banking.
AI can predict your needs, identify churn risks, enhance security in the fraud prevention, and empower the institutions to address kind of concerns, but also be there for important moments for a client that are predictable through, seeing their spending patterns, seeing the times in their life and the big meaningful moments that are coming up, things like that. And I think those types of things will help strengthen trust and retain clients, through those important moments that matter, if you will.
I do think that you'll never be able to replace humans, particularly in the banking world. Banking is a relationship business. Depending on the markets, there are certain markets that rely on that human interaction. And, I was at a conference this past Friday, sponsored by the Federal Reserve, for Community Development Investment Financial Institutions, so CDFIs. And we were talking about the ability to do loan sales. So loan sales occur across the banks, where banks want to sell loans so that they can make more room on their balance sheet. Well, what happens with a loan sale is that someone else is going to take over the servicing of that loan. And one of the things that was brought up was because these loans are in areas that are generally low-income development areas, that human interaction with the borrower and the lender is so critical. And if you have a loan sale, now there's a stranger, if you will, servicing that loan that doesn't have that relationship. And this isn't like selling an auto loan, which is anonymous, right? You have a car loan and it doesn't matter. That's not a personal relationship. You just either write a check every month or there's a debit in your account to take the money out. No human interaction. But there are a lot of loan markets that require the, back and forth and knowing that borrower. And in these CDFIs, that's how they get their loans, is through that boots on the ground, talking to these low-income areas and getting the trust, because a lot of these borrowers don't trust big financial institutions. So in that case, there's no AI that's ever going to replace them. And I think those are examples in the banking world where you will always have that human interaction.
What I think is the next generation of that we're starting to contemplate now from a product development perspective is some of like the client sentiment capturing, right? You can leverage AI to capture if your clients feel bullish or bearish. You can leverage AI to capture what are the client's likely goals, what life changes have happened. So those are the things that I think are on the horizon and what I see coming in the next 3 years that I expect the industry will get comfortable with.
The unlock around onboarding, automation through, virtual assistants, real-time financial insights, and going beyond banking, even on some of those types of things. There's financial wellness tools, improved client satisfaction, connections to, for example, local retail or other things that are connected to your life's moments. Those will build quite a bit of trust and momentum with the clients.
I think there's a lot a bank can do in terms of that interaction with their borrowers and their customers, depositors. I think there's a lot that can be done online in opening up those online channels to the customers and engage their appetite, right? I mean, there's definitely folks that are more willing to use portals and to be able to access their banking information.
AI's integration into banking is revolutionizing workforce dynamics, transitioning roles from manual tasks to strategic analysis. This shift necessitates the development of new skills and comprehensive training programs to ensure employees can effectively harness AI's capabilities. By mastering these technologies, staff can enhance their value delivery and adapt seamlessly to ongoing technological advancements. This transformation not only boosts operational efficiency, but also empowers employees to focus on strategic initiatives, driving innovation and growth. Ultimately, the integration of AI in banking fosters a more agile, forward-thinking workforce, capable of navigating and thriving in an increasingly digital landscape.
AI is always going to be a tool to assist your staff to do their work. So I see it as more staff augmentation, where they're helping to get to the end goal of any area or department. I see that now the individual workers in that group that is now deploying artificial intelligence will have to do more analysis and less inputting in repetitive tasks, which, again, is something that we need to evaluate at that person level to ensure that they can make the jump from just doing data entry now to doing analysis. And that's a skill set change.
Yeah, well, a lot of it's going to be business development and, holding on to your relationships, right? We think about this as from the technology standpoint, but our clients really think about this from a relationship standpoint, right? And so if you have more time that you're not doing manual entry, that means you're out on the golf course providing experiences with clients, right? You're taking them to lunch. These are things that you can't replace with technology. So you have people that all of a sudden are freed up to actually build these more deeper relationships that create the stickiness, that keep the money where they want it to be, which is with their firm. And so those are the things that we can't really replace. with technology, but what we can do is supplement it. We can make the reporting easier. We can make the portals better. And we can give our clients the time to do this type of thing, relationship building that, that technology won't ever really be able to overcome.
What I've seen in some cases where the artificial intelligence has been deployed, there hasn't been also at the same time, a skill assessment. Because I do think every time you change processes, and it doesn't matter what processes or technologies, you still need to do a skill assessment on the employees that are still going to be using those new technologies and processes to ensure that they understand that their job has changed and, either the computer or a robotic process is taking over some of their work, how that impacts their work. And then get them engaged to now realize that instead of doing, A to Z, now they might do A to G, and now they have to do G to double B or something. So they're shifting their work. And I think as managers, we need to make sure that they have the proper skill set training to go from what they were doing to what they're going to do now to be most effective with the artificial intelligence.
I can imagine a world where Gen AI agents can support humans to understand the complexity of AI's decisions, and then they can set this directly in motion in personalized actions. And so I think there's quite a bit of stuff to build upon even these layers that I mentioned. So I think what we're seeing leading banks who stand out on these types of things, there's a few areas in particular. I think one is that they set a pretty bold and enterprise-wide vision for the value of AI and these movements around agentic and elements that are coming. They have an expansive outlook, so it's not just near term. They try to look at the near term and the practical use cases, but also look future back to future proof the way that they're thinking about. And it's not just around cost efficiencies, but it's also around revenue, it's around customer and employee experience across the lines of business.
As AI adoption accelerates, banks and trusts must adeptly navigate risks such as data privacy, regulatory compliance, and transparency. Establishing robust governance frameworks and clear guardrails is essential to ensure AI enhances operations without compromising trust or security. By implementing stringent data protection measures and adhering to regulatory standards, financial institutions can mitigate potential risks. Transparent AI practices further bolster customer confidence, fostering a trustworthy relationship. This proactive approach not only safeguards sensitive information, but also ensures that AI-driven innovations contribute positively to operational efficiency and customer satisfaction. Ultimately, a well-governed AI strategy enables banks and trusts to harness the full potential of AI while maintaining the highest standards of integrity and security.
I know in SS&C we've taken this very seriously, right? Data privacy, protecting against breaches, making sure that the client information is secure. Because, as the biggest institutions know, and even the smallest institutions, this is major when it comes to your financial data. And so, we're going to always kind of look at everything through the lens of, can we deliver this with, while keeping data private, while keeping data secure, while ensuring that our client data isn't impacted at all.
Absolutely. So, ChatGPT is only as good as the last credit agreement it read. So there has to be that human oversight to review what the ChatGPT has generated. But still, it's a lot faster to have someone check the 95% of the information and then go find that 5%, as opposed to going and looking for all 100% of that information in a 500-page document.
The last thing I'll say is just around kind of really sustaining this scale value with the critical enablers, right? There's cross-functional business elements, technology, the way the AI teams work, and having some kind of central control tower that starts to look at this. That also looks at the risks angles of it. I see it as sort of the model risk management of the future, of the live dashboards that start to show you where your inherent risks are, also from the AI perspective within the banks and those types of guardrails. So I think the reuse of those types of capabilities and having some of the foundations right is important.
The regulatory framework in this space is interesting because it often, it's playing catch up to the industry as it's changing. And so I do think that there's things that will be automated around compliance tools. Like, for example, we can use AI to detect potentially, fraud, right? You can use AI to detect if a trade pattern is unusual and might be indicative of insider trading.
I would share that, think out of the box. Imagine the unimaginable, expect the unexpected, and think the unthinkable, because what's happening is we are rapidly changing how we process information, how we analyze information. And if you're not thinking ahead, you're going to be left behind. So we have at SS&C a lot of technology and AI capabilities that we're on this journey with our clients. So what was something that was, state of the art 18 months ago we were doing is now being replaced by something that's even more innovative. And I think on that journey of constant innovation change, you need to get on that journey.
The future of banking hinges on embracing AI as a catalyst for innovation rather than a replacement. By starting with small-scale implementations and scaling thoughtfully, institutions can maintain their competitive edge while preserving the trust and relationships that are central to their success. This approach allows banks to integrate AI seamlessly, enhancing operational efficiency and customer experience without compromising core values. By leveraging AI strategically, financial institutions can drive innovation, foster growth, and ensure that technological advancements complement their commitment to reliability and trustworthiness.
It's amazing how fast things are changing in the AI environment. We're seeing things that were state of the art 12, 18 months ago, now being, surpassed with much faster and much better AI technology. So I would say that, if you're at ground zero with AI, don't be afraid to embrace it and start looking at things that, again, the efforts that you're spending today that require a lot of time and energy and effort, to start using AI to start to do some of that work for you.
There's so much that we can be leveraging, right? Often in banking, I look at the technologies and I think, wow, as a consumer and also as a provider, I'm always surprised when I walk into a prospect's organization and I kind of see how complicated it is. And a lot of this has the real potential to uncomplicate so much at a pace that we've not yet seen before.
And so they try to you set that envelope broadly is I think the first bold element of what the real leaders are doing in the space. The second is, I think, you root the transformation in true business value, by transforming different domains within the bank. And it's truly front to back. Quite a bit of AI and automation deployment in the past, was somewhat fragmented in some situations, and there could have been point solutions or those types of things, use cases around specific chatbots or conversational AI tools in isolation.
It is a journey, and it's moving fast. And I would say, get on it now, even if it's small, it's okay, but then build upon it over time as it changes. And again, imagine the unimaginable, expect the unexpected, and think the unthinkable.
The integration of AI in banking and trust services is not just a technological advancement, but a strategic imperative. AI is revolutionizing loan underwriting, wealth management, and client interactions, making processes more efficient and reliable. However, the human element remains irreplaceable, especially in relationship-driven sectors like banking. The future lies in a harmonious blend of AI and human expertise, where technology handles repetitive tasks and humans focus on strategic, value-driven activities. Embracing AI while maintaining robust governance and continuous skill development will ensure that financial institutions not only keep pace with innovation, but also lead the way in delivering exceptional client experiences. This dual approach of leveraging AI for operational efficiency and human expertise for relationship management will drive the industry forward. Moreover, as AI continues to evolve, it will open new avenues for personalized financial services, predictive analytics, and proactive risk management. Financial institutions that invest in AI and foster a culture of continuous learning and adaptation will be well positioned to navigate the complexities of the modern financial landscape. Ultimately, the successful integration of AI in banking and trust services will depend on a balanced approach that values both technological advancements and the irreplaceable human touch. This synergy will not only enhance operational efficiency, but also build stronger, more trusting relationships with clients, paving the way for a more innovative and customer-centric financial sector.